The purpose of this training session is to give you a basic overview into master orders. Master orders are different from single shipment orders in that a master order is designed to be plant material that is a large block of material shipped either to multiple locations of the same customer or in multiple shipments, perhaps to the same location. In either event, this reserves a large amount of material out of availability for the customer that can be shipped at later times. Often the customer won't know when they want those shipments. They'll simply call and tell you, I need X amount of material shipped. Oftentimes the master order can be used when selling to a broker, and then you drop ship to the broker's customers as they sell on your behalf. Master orders can be used in this fashion as well. When I open the master order directory, this directory is very similar to the single shipment orders. So if you're familiar with searching and finding orders on the single shipment, it's the same. The difference being when I click on an order, notice this section in the bottom. These are shipments that have occurred against this master order. So as the cursor moves down the screen, the shipments change to match the order. So notice that this order, I have multiple shipments that have already gone out. There are at least 7 shipments. In this case, there are no shipments that have yet gone on this particular order. Here's 1 shipment, 2 shipments, etc. So you get the point. In order to manage this particular item, I can double-click into any one of these shipment lines down below, and that opens me to the single shipment order screen. It's identical to the single shipment order. Each shipment on a master order is the same as a single individual shipment. So in that case, I won't bother to open one of these individual shipments. I'm going to instead go and open a individual master order. At this point, I have a little information about the shipments that have occurred. I can tell which shipments have gone or might be just scheduled. If this says no, that means I've scheduled a shipment but it's not gone yet. I know how many items, if in the case of a greenhouse operation, how many flats and what the sales totals are. In this case, it looks like I have identical orders, identical number of items, identical totals being shipped out to multiple customers on the same date. So this was the type of order that instead of spacing out shipments to be designated later, we took one master order and then shipped the same order to multiple people. We could have created multiple individual shipments had we wanted to individually and not use the master order. That also would be an option. I'm going to double-click into the existing order and get information that pops up. Now, notice on the left this status. What this tells me is that this was the original acknowledged item on the master order, and these that say add on the status were added at the time of shipment. So this tells me on the master order that they were added on one of these individual shipments, and then it was automatically appended back to the master order when I did that. So as a result, there were no quantities requested on the master order. So when the master order is created, it's created exactly like you do a single shipment order. You put in a bill to. Now the ship to is going to vary. The ship to will depend. It'll be a different ship to for each individual shipment perhaps. So this is the default ship to, but it's not a standard ship to for the whole master order. I do notice that this sale season was not entered on this master order, and it needs to be. So we're going to go ahead and put that in actually it doesn't go at week 16. This goes in a week that's already been closed. So I'll just put it close enough, and we'll go back and fix that later. If I put in a certain number here, I have an option now of creating shipments against this master order. The way I create shipments are, number one, I can ship partial. If I click this ship partial button right here, what it will do is take everything that is that I've typed in the ship quantity. Actually, let me back up. In this case, ship flats. The ship individual, each unit is a hidden column on this particular setup. So we could go in here and find the individual quantity, but at this point we're shipping by flats, so I'm going to go in and say how many flats or how many individual items I want to ship. So if I want to tell them I have 660 left, so if I want to create a shipment, I would put I'm going to ship 34 at this point, and then in order to create a shipment I would click Ship Partial. If I just want to ship everything that's left, everything in the pending column that's left. In this case, there's over 3,000 units left pending. If I want to ship all of them, I click Ship All, and it creates a shipment that will ship all. So I'm going to go ahead and click Ship Partial, so I only ship 34, then this will be depleted by 34, telling me that I now have something on the order of 3,920 something left. So I'm going to click Ship Partial. Notice that this column, Ship Flats, clears. My flats due is reduced from 660 down to 626 that they have left to go. And I've created a brand new shipment. Actually, the shipment was put at the top. So this is today's date, this shipment, and the default ship to address is here. I could have selected another of the many ship to addresses for this particular customer. There was no PO designated. It has not been shipped. If I want to process this order now, I can double click on this line and go into the individual order and see that the only thing on that order is the 34 flats that I specified. So the master order then has the same processing reports down in the bottom. So here are my actually, this is the one I clicked on. Apparently, oh, these are the individual units. There were 204 individual units, and on this particular screen I have the flats column hidden. So let me open my flats, and you can see that there were 34 flats that I shipped. This from here, this is processed exactly like you would process any individual shipment. So back to my master order. I can there are things that you can do here. We have the master order acknowledgement, master order status update. There can be a sales agreement and other specific reports that relate to the whole order. Other invoices, bills of lading, etc. relate to individual shipments, and those are processed just as individual shipments are. I have some quick tools up here. If I want to add this ship add utility, sometimes you'll have many shipments here. It's possible that you could have a large master order being shipped to 50 stores. If that were the case and the salesman gets on the phone with the customer and says, well, I want you to add, 37 more of this particular new item that you've got to all 50 orders. Instead of having to click into each of 50 orders and modify the order, you can do a ship add, which will pop up a button and allow you what is the quantity that you're adding. Are you going to use each of flats, and then you can go down and check the ones that that you've added, that you're going to be adding. So you put an item. So I'm taking this item, for example, that where the cursor is highlighted on the master order, and I would select the individual shipments to add maybe 10 or 22, and then click Copy Product, and then that would be added to all of these individual shipments at one time in batch, so that I don't have to individually open and modify each of these shipments. If I want to create a new shipment that is exactly like a prior shipment, so for example, if I went down and created a shipment for a specific ship to, and now I just want to repeat that shipment like has been done in this particular case, all of these. Now here's a different kind of shipment and a different shipment, but initially these were all the same. So to repeat that, I can simply put the cursor on this line and then click Copy Ship. And again, I can go down and click all the ship to addresses, and I can then select the level of customer and click Copy Shipment, and then the shipment where the cursor is sitting will be copied to every customer that had a check mark by their name. So I can make one order and then make 10 or 50 new copies of that order that goes out to all the stores. So the idea here is that this master order processing allows you to ship quantities hopefully much quicker than if you were putting in individual orders. So that's the overview of how this process works. Remember that when you're putting in how many to ship, ship partial creates a new shipment against some of the items. Ship all simply goes into the pending column, takes everything that's left, and closes out the master order and creates one shipment for all of it. So if you accidentally click these, deleting a shipment, simply going in, see this delete order button in the master order, that deletes the entire master order. If I want to if I made a mistake on a shipment and I just want to delete it, open the shipment and click the delete order button in the lower corner of the shipment. That returns all of the items back to the master order, and it's as though that shipment was never made. Then you can correct your mistake and go forward. So if there are any questions or issues or specific items on the master order, we'll address those in training, in additional training videos.